I had a call the other day from a prospect who was begging for help. They had spent a lot of time and money on their CRM and they had nothing to show for it after spending over 6 figures and 18 months of time. They asked me what they were doing wrong. Now, this company was a huge believer in technology. They knew that they needed to get out of spreadsheets and Outlook to automate and streamline their sales process so they could have better controls, be more responsive to their customers. So they invested and it went wrong. How did this happen? After speaking with him, it became very clear that there was three main things that he could have done differently, that their team could have done differently to reach success. And it wasn't spending more money, it wasn't spending more time, it wasn't spending more energy. To start with, the very simple idea behind CRM is you want adoption. And we use that word adoption a lot because that's exactly what it is. You're adopting the software, you're building new habits, forming new patterns of behavior around the software. So if you have people that are used to using spreadsheets and Outlook, and that's what they're used to, and they're doing a great job, and where they feel like they're doing a great job, it's getting them to change their habits that's really important. And you got to focus on those people and their adoption of the software. So how do you make that happen? How do you get adoption? Well, first and foremost, it starts with the idea that you focus on adoption, not on management goals. So a lot of companies will come to me and they'll say, we want to see what the salespeople are doing. We want to get better dashboards. We want to see better reports. Those are all good goals. Those are very good goals, but they're focused on management results, not on the sales team and the service team results. You have to focus on the people who are actually going to use the software. Make their life easy. You want them to see CRM as a friend. The CRM, when it's done right, will streamline their days, make administrative tasks go away, help them stay on top of things. They won't have to worry about so much. They won't have to have notes all over the place telling them what to do. They won't have to dig through their email anymore. Those all sound like pretty obvious goals, but again, it's a cultural change. So you need to make sure that you are thinking like a salesperson, thinking like a service person. Stop thinking like a manager. Stop wanting to watch over your people. If your incentive programs are properly aligned with sales plans, your people want to sell. They will want to do a good job. So what you want to use the CRM for is to make their life easy so that they can do their job better with less friction, less of those painful things that they normally do. Once they start using the system, they adopt the system, then your goals will be met as a natural byproduct. We have a saying here at Azamba that we sell to management teams, but we implement for the people who actually use the software. And that makes all the difference. The next thing that this company could have done was start small. So again, you're trying to change habits. People have built their habits over years and they're doing a good job. They feel like, hey, why should I change? This is going great for me. So if you want them to change, you got to make it easy for them. Don't make this huge mountain that they have to scale to learn a new system. Start real simple, start real small. We have a saying, less is more. So less is more. We've got a few videos about that, but it's really such a key concept. Start with the smallest footprint of functionality that will still have value to your team, that will still get them excited, get them using the software. And so when you do that, it makes it easy for them to say, hey, I can learn these new things. It's not overwhelming. And usually if you do it right, the training doesn't take more than a couple hours to understand how to use the software properly, how to integrate it into their daily activities, and then to start to adopt it and use it on a regular basis. Like for me, for example, as a salesperson, I live in Outlook. So one of the things I like best about Dynamics is that it sits inside of my Outlook. So as a salesperson, I don't need to go over to a CRM or launch a new app. I can just do most of what I want to do right from within my Outlook. That's huge. It builds adoption. It's simple. And as a sales rep, I love it. Now, the final piece of all of this is you started small. You started with that minimum viable product. But then what you want to do is iterate. So you want to go to your people. You want to say to your people, hey, we know this isn't perfect. We know this isn't everything that we want it to be. And that's okay. Tell us what it isn't doing for you that you wish it would do. Tell us what you're struggling with that is making using the software a little bit difficult. And you have an open, honest dialogue with people instead of trying to say this system is perfect, you got to use it, and browbeating people. It just doesn't work. So what you want to do is start with this open dialogue and say, what do you want it to do differently? We call that a wish list. And it's pretty simple. You just have someone go out and get that honest feedback from your people, and you make a list. And it really helps if the person who's in charge of your CRM, the project champion is what we call them, is also a salesperson or a service person who uses the software. Because if they're using the software, they're going to also see things that could be a little bit different. So they'll be able to instigate the proper questions to the rest of the team to understand what it is and isn't doing. And you make this list, and then on a regular cadence, and that might be once a month, once a quarter, once a year. It depends on your appetite for change and for evolution. You will implement a few of those things. You don't have to do them all at once. Just pick the ones that will be the biggest bang for the buck, the least effort for the biggest results to make people happier, more productive, more efficient. And once that happens, a couple things will fall into place. One is your system will start to get more improved and better and give you better results. And two, your team will start to see that the system isn't just for management, it's for the entire team. You put the CRM in place to help them, not just to reach management goals. It'll increase camaraderie, it'll increase the efficiency of the system, it'll increase adoption, it'll increase goodwill, and it'll decrease complaining, it'll decrease resistance. It creates a snowball effect because once the team starts to see that, hey, it isn't perfect, but we can just make requests, and then those requests will get made in the system, and then we'll get a new baseline. We'll look at that, we'll make requests, changes will be made, we'll get a new version, and it just keeps going like that. It's a snowball effect. That leads to great results for you and your company and for the adoption of the system. All these tricks and strategies are laid out in our implementation approach. We have a proven structured methodology to implement CRM, but also to support it long-term. So to implement, we have this program called Rapid Launch. And then for long-term success, we have this program called On Track, which is a virtual coworker model, where we work closely with you as part of a virtual team to make sure that your CRM gets on that path of crawl, walk, run to success. Hopefully this was helpful. And if you want more of this information, please hit the subscribe button and go ahead and check out this video here. And we will talk about less is more in that video and give you a little bit more understanding of kind of what that less is more strategy all starts with.